So what's up, guys? Today I'm going to talk about something that I've avoided talking about for a very long time. I get this question asked a lot and I don't really talk about it. I've kind of touched on it briefly, in videos, but I haven't really answered any questions because I feel, I don't want to say awkward, but it's kind of like one of those things. It's not something I really ever wanted to talk about, but I feel like I've read enough comments and I've read enough questions that I feel like it warrants me to get over it and just kind of have a conversation with you guys, answer a few questions because I'm not the only one. Today, I'm gonna answer some questions about living with seizures, what it's like, what I feel like, just what's going on in my brain, no pun intended. Sorry, that I'm just gonna let you know, I might make some jokes, but that's just my defense mechanism. I have a very morbid sense of humor, or just not funny, probably both. You guys asked me on Twitter, honestly, you guys have asked me everywhere about this kind of stuff, which leads me to believe there's more than myself that have gone through this with friends, family, or, rule number one, Charles, silence your phone. I feel like it might help somebody, and honestly, it might help me just to get off my chest. The first question comes from Selena, and she's like, what is the scariest part of it? I'm happy you are finally feeling ready to talk about it now. Selena, thank you so much. I think the worst part, honestly, is not knowing if you're gonna have one. So for example, I'm not gonna lie, every single day I think about it, whether I want to or not. It's just something that's now part of my life. And I feel like if anyone who's going through this, or is family, friends, or just yourself, you kind of, you could say like, oh, I don't think about it or anything like that, or it's not really a concern to myself. But deep down, like you're just, I don't want to say lying to yourself, but everyone is honestly thinking about it who's going through it. It takes up a little portion of your day in your life, and I'll be honest, it does take a toll on you just because it's this constant stress. But then here's the catch-22. You think about it, you stress yourself out, and for some people, when you stress yourself out, you cause one. So it's like, it's just this vicious circle. So where you have to calm down and kind of let it go and just live your life. Otherwise, you're gonna cause more of them, if that makes any sense. This one's from Kelly, and this is a really, really good one, and it kind of hits hard because it kind of comes back to exactly what I was saying. She's like, how do you not live in fear with a tumor in your head? Are you or were you scared going to bed every night knowing the possibility of having a seizure? And for those who don't know what she's talking about, I've been fine for a long time. A majority of my seizures happened during my sleep. Basically during REM cycle. Honestly, as a result, if I go to sleep anywhere, whether it's on a plane, by the way, I've actually had a seizure on a plane. That's a whole nother thing. Happened a long time ago. It terrified me. I know it freaked out pretty much everyone on the plane. But yeah, that was a rough one. But coming back, I wouldn't say it all the time, but when I go to bed, I kind of prepare myself for the possibility of something like that happening. It sucks, I'll be honest. So what happens for those of you guys who are really curious? Usually REM cycle happens, let's say you go to bed around 11 or 12 or something like that. Usually hit REM cycle around depends on everybody, 3, 4, 5 a.m. I've actually started wearing my Apple Watch to kind of see when I hit REM cycle. As a result, what I would do is I used to take my medication at 3 p.m. and 3 a.m. because I became scared. I became very concerned because when I was having seizures, it was happening around 4 or 5 a.m., 3 a.m., around that time. My thought process was, all right, well, if I stay up till 3 a.m., I take my medication at 3 a.m., but I'm still up, I could, but can avoid it because I've been up and I passed REM cycle, which to this day, it takes a toll on me. I can't fall asleep. I fall asleep around, I'm not even kidding, around 2 or 3 a.m. every single night, whether it's because I'm editing or truthfully just because I scare myself into thinking something like that's gonna happen. And as a result, it's exhausting. And I feel like, coming back to what I was saying earlier, it might cause the situation even worse. So to answer your question, Kelly, yes. So this is from Kate. When you first found out about it all, what were your thoughts? How did you manage getting through the days that were difficult mentally? Okay, so this is what I remember. I remember getting off the tour bus. The last thing I remember is popping a balloon off the tour bus. This was in Idaho, right? It was just after we took the photo for the Somewhere Somehow album cover. So we were in Idaho. Danny and I went to go get coffee. We kind of always went and got coffee and we'd film and kind of explore. What is that football field? It's like the college football field that's all blue. We went there. We wanted to take a photo because we thought, it's a blue field, kind of cool, blah, 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 go see it, we're in the area. This is what's really weird and kind of weirds me out to kind of talk about it because you think about it and then it just weirds you out more. I remember walking and kind of going in circles, and Danny goes, Charles, what's going on? I can remember hearing that, and then going down, like right now, it's kind of weirding me out to talk about this, to be honest. Because I don't know if anyone's ever gone through a seizure. Like when you think about it, you kind of remember it, and it kind of, like right now, honestly, it's kind of terrifying me, freaking me out a little bit. And then the next thing you know is paramedics, and just, that's it. Them explaining, hey, you had a seizure. And me in my back of my head, I'm like, the hell's a seizure? I mean, I'm exaggerating, but why did I have one? And then mentally, I try not to show it in the videos, but I kind of had a little breakdown because I didn't know how to cope with it. I'm the type of person, if I can keep a strong face, I can get through things. So I felt like, hey, Charles, if you just keep strong, you keep positive, you're gonna be fine. That wasn't a good day. My best friend found out she has one on the right side of her head that is 2 inches deep on Tuesday. She's having a real hard time. Any advice would be greatly appreciated. That's where mine actually is too. That's a very difficult question to answer because everyone's different. For me, I don't want to say it was denial, but it felt like kind of like denial. I remember when I was in the room and the guy was like, oh, you have a tumor in your brain. And immediately, again, coming back to the sense of humor that I have, I literally looked at him deadpan and I go, it's not a tumor. Like, Arnold Schwarzenegger, and he didn't think that was funny. Didn't think that was funny. To me, it kind of helped with the situation because I was trying to cope with the idea like, all right, so this means death sentence, brain tumors, horrible, bad stuff. My natural reaction is make a joke, lighten the mood. Hopefully I guess what I was trying to say is like, I made a joke hoping that the doctor would be like, oh yeah, it's not a tumor. I was just messing with you. And horrible. I mean, that would be a horrible joke for any doctor. Laughter. Honestly, my friends and family got me through that whole situation. I mean, I'll be honest, I don't really honestly think I'm completely over this situation because I live with it every day. I'm fine. I'm definitely fine. And as far as your friend, I am truly, truly sorry that she has to go through that. I don't wish that upon my worst enemy. It's not something that any human being should go through. Her situation might be different. Your job is to kind of make her laugh, keep her busy, keep her preoccupied with something. For me, it was vlogging. If I wasn't vlogging, I would have lost my mind. Honestly, I really would have lost my mind. This is from Cassie. Have you tried any home remedy treatment of any kind? Actually, I don't really know of any home remedies other than taking vitamins, eating healthy. I guess that would be it. Eating a lot healthier. I don't drink, or at least I don't drink anymore. I don't drink coffee. That's another thing. Allie cooks the most healthy things in the world. I try to stay away from things that have a lot of GMOs and chemicals. Rule of thumb, if you can't read it, don't eat it. So I guess that would be kind of the home remedies that I try, which are just, not remedies, it's just lifestyle changes. This is from Skirt. All right, that made me laugh. Can you explain what your brain goes through before, during, and after you've had a seizure? Okay, before, from what I remember, it's kind of a disorienting feeling where it weirds me out. This is weirding me out talking about, but maybe it's gonna help someone. Oh God, that really weirded me out. This might make no sense for anyone else right now, but I get this like weird, my body feels like it's going like this, and I go left. I don't like that. I go left, and from what I remember, I hear things briefly, and it doesn't hurt. That's the weirdest thing. That's a misconception. Maybe some people say it hurts. It doesn't hurt. You can't necessarily die from a seizure unless you fall off, stairs, a ladder, or do something stupid or fall on your head. That's usually when people get hurt really bad from seizures. For me, it feels like that it kind of spin in circles, or at least it feels like I'm spinning in circles. Probably not. Never ask Allie. I've never, ever watched a video of anyone ever having a seizure. Ever, because I know I could relate to it and I know it would freak me out. So it feels like that. My brain doesn't really do anything. It just feels like it's trailing off. And then when I wake up, then it's like literally you pass out. I don't know if anyone's ever passed out before, but you just literally pass out. When you come to, for me, I go, I'm like hyperventilating almost. And then Allie has to calm me down. When I come to, I am very exhausted. I'm very tired. I don't know I kind of know what's going on. Allie tells me it takes me like a few minutes to kind of come to, it says I come to, and realize the situation. Okay, here's the worst part. My entire left side of my body goes weird, and Allie does not let me get up until I can go like this, and I can go like this. If I can't do that, she's not letting me go anywhere. I'm so stubborn, because for me, when I have one and I wake up, I feel like the first thing I want to do is get up and move. So it takes my mind off of things, but I get up and I move and I fall on the ground. And then it just, that whole situation where that's how you hurt yourself. Before, I feel this weird dizziness. After, during, I have no idea. After, I'm a little sore on the left side. I'm hyperventilating. I'm trying to come to. Yeah, that's kind of it. And yeah, I think the first time I ever really talked about that in depth. Do you still say they poke my brain? I love that. I do, because I think it's, again, coming back to my morbid sense of humor, or just my sense of humor, is that kind of stuff helps me cope. I find that funny to me. You know that whole thing where people say, oh, you're forgetful? So I say, I'm sometimes forgetful, and this has nothing to do with anything that ever happened. This is just me as a human being. Kind of like why I vlog every day, so that way I kind of can remember things a little bit better. But anyway, coming back, I still say they poke my brain because they did, twice. Allie laughs at me because she's like, you can't use that anymore. It's been like 5 years. And my response is, I get to use that for the rest of my life. I don't care what dumb thing I say or do. My excuse is always they poke my brain. I got a free out. I got a free get out of jail card. This one's a little controversial, but this is from Ryan. I don't want anyone to get political with this. This is just a good question, and I'm going to answer it. Have you looked into any medical marijuana treatments? With marijuana becoming legal in Canada, opening the door to more research, are you excited for what it could do for you? Yes. Coming from somebody, when everything was happening, I was taking, I'm not even kidding, I think I took a photo and I put it on Instagram one day. It was, you know, like when you put your hand in a bag of Skittles and you get Skittles in your hand and you go like this one? I'm not even exaggerating, that's how many pills I was taking twice a day. I think it was up to 20 or 30 pills a day. It was ridiculous. To this day, I'm down to three pills twice a day, so 6 total. The first couple I was having allergic reactions. I had Keppra, which is one of the oldest, along with Dilantin. Keppra, I had a serious allergic reaction. Dilantin's, I don't know if you guys know, it's a horrible, horrible drug. Not so much as bad for you, but it's effective, but it's such an old drug that it's bad for your gums, your liver, like everything in your body. Like it stops these, but everything else gets destroyed. So I got off of that immediately, and now I'm on lamotrigine, and then Ativan for like anxiety, which I'll be honest, I have anxiety because it comes back to the whole, you're thinking about it constantly, so you get anxious. It's definitely a vicious circle. But coming back to it, yes, I'm excited for CBD oil, which I do take CBD oil and other things becoming more legal, because coming from somebody who's taken so many pills and medication, various things, and still not helping, I feel like there's something else. There's gotta be something else that's not chemically putting in your body. And this is probably gonna cause some sort of political debate in the comments, and you know what? I don't care. I don't care what you think. That's just what I think. And you can believe what you want to believe. I believe what I want to believe, and that's it. So don't mean to be blunt, but when it comes to this stuff, I am pro health. The more people that are getting cancer, the more people are getting tumors. I don't believe, like, I don't really know true history about this. I don't think we have much cancer cases back then, old days, you know, before we added like chemicals and GMOs and weird stuff, cell phones, to your body. So anything that's not chemical, I feel is a good idea. I'm just gonna answer literally 2 more because I'm looking down there. Actually, I'm not really, I'm just assuming this video is super long. So just a couple more. This is from Olivia. Are there ever fears about your genetics and how it may affect your children or children's children? I do think about that, and it terrifies me. A long time ago, I told you guys about this test, and I took it. Here's the craziest part. Honestly, this blew my mind. It said, I wish I had the paperwork. I had no genetic mutations that were susceptible to various cancers. Not saying I don't have cancer, which I honestly thought I was gonna take this and it was gonna be like, you have it. You have these genes. I got the results and it said I didn't have the genes, which is coming back to the whole chemicals and weird stuff and cell phones and things like that. I mean, this is speculation. I don't know, I'm not a doctor. And even doctors can't answer this question. I do get scared that it might affect my children, not necessarily because of me, because I think I'm healthy. I think my genes are healthy. I think my body as a whole, except I have this thing, which causes everything else. is healthy. I think what I'm more afraid of is the way the world is going with these injections and these chemicals. And I keep saying chemicals because that's just how I feel. Okay, this is a perfect one for Melanie, and it ties my entire conversation up in a nice little package because I kind of don't want to talk about this anymore. I'll be honest. And I feel like this video is going to kind of put the rest, not to say your questions bother me, but to answer the questions in a whole. This is more of just a statement, and I want to read it because it obviously hits home. I've had 2 aneurysms. The scar tissue from surgery has caused seizures, which is kind of the situation for me. That they say is the residuals, the little scar tissue in my brain. When you guys see all the MRIs, the little white stuff, that's scar tissue. And that's what they think has caused or is causing that situation. Anyway, stress and exhaustion are triggers too. Yep. I always can see it in your face before you have a seizure and worry so much. Sending love to you both always. That's perfect. That's wraps it up in a nice little package. So guys, please don't forget to subscribe. If you guys have any other questions, I'm willing to talk about. Now that I'm getting this off my chest, I kind of feel a little bit better now. I know it felt uncomfortable, but I kind of feel a little bit better. So if you guys have any other questions, maybe not particular to this, but anything else that it might eventually be awkward for me to talk about, but I think if you ask me these questions and I talk about it, I might feel a little bit better. All right, guys. Well, that was fun. I'll see you tomorrow.